Welcome to the Straight Red Card. Thank you for joining us. Hey, I really want to appreciate everybody who's concerned. Had a couple messages over a couple different videos we put out that, once we get monetized, which I guess will be soon, I guess it's 1,000. And once you get there, they're all saying you can't curse because they'll demonetize you. Well, I looked up the YouTube rules, Brett, and we can do some cursing. I think we'll be fine. It does say minimal cursing. So, keep that in mind.
You know what I say about that?
What?
Fudge that. Fudge that.
I'm really fudging. Really.
What the funk? I swear to God.
Shut the front door.
I made the comment to that after you posted that little tidbit. I was like, we'll just steal the Bloodhound Gang's curse track, and every time we curse, there'll just be a donkey's bray.
And you know what? But I brought up cursing, Brett, because the manager, and we're going to be talking about, by the way, we're going to talk about Sargent's move to Norwich City and how it might affect his playing time. And then we're going to talk about the big move today with Lukaku moving to Chelsea for a gazillion dollars and how that might affect Pulisic's playing time for Tuchel at Chelsea. But I wanted to bring up cursing because the manager of the Norwich team, his name is spelled F-A-R-K-E. And a lot of Americans like you, Brett, would probably say what?
F-A-R-K-E?
Yep. How would you pronounce that?
Fark?
Yeah, you're fucking right. That's exactly correct. And that would be not right? So his name is actually Farka.
I mean, I would have guessed where I knew you were leading me to water, but I was like, no, I'm not going to drink it. I'm going to say it how I'd normally say it. It'd be Farky, Farke.
He's not French. All right. So
how am I supposed to know? There's a unusual E there. My son brought it up. You know how we always used to say they're silent E's? Well, now they're being taught they're ninja E's.
Really? Okay, that's weird.
Silent.
Well, this is not a ninja E. His E is pronounced. It's Farka. And it's probably going to, if we don't say Farka, it's going to get counted against us as saying Fark, which is really close to fuck. And as you well know, I guess that might count against us down the road. Anyhow.
Algorithm, Jesus. Well, wait, shit, is Jesus a curse word?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not. You can say Jesus. All right, so we got to move on to this Sargent thing. God damn it. All right, so Sargent was bought from Werder Bremen, and it was not a record signing. I got it right in front of me here. It was for 8 million. That is euros. So I'm not going to translate that to pounds or dollars. Fuck that. That's euros.
That's his market value, isn't it? I mean, that's what everybody was expecting.
No, it's below his market value.
Oh, is it? I thought it was.
Yeah, it was 10. So he went down to 8, according to Transfer Market. He was bought for, and so was Rashica. His teammate was also bought by Werder Bremen, by Norwich City from Werder Bremen. And he cost more than Sargent. And he was 9 million euros, and that's down from market value.
Freaking Euro passport.
Yeah, I guess the question is here's the broad question, Brett. Is Sargent going to be guaranteed some sort of playing time with this transfer with Norwich City?
Judging based off of what the coach was saying, less likely a striker, but more as a winger. Sure.
And that's what concerns me, though.
Well, I mean, if you take into consideration what our good friend Berlin says. Sargent's not a striker; he's a winger. That's it. No,
I disagree, but
this has been the argument between me and Berlin for a while. Yeah,
I know. I disagree, but here's the challenge for Josh. If you play him as a winger out left today, Norwich City signed Christos Zolis, all right, from POAK in Greece for 12 million pounds. And he plays left winger. And behind him is another guy that plays Pochetta. I think he's Polish. Now he's only worth 2 million, but he's been reliable for them in the championship, okay? Where he has been reliable for them. Then out right wing, you got Rashika, who they signed for more than Josh Sargent. And you got a guy that's been there named Onel Hernandez. You know, it's going to be a battle for him to get in on the wings. I'm just telling you, he's going to have to do something spectacular.
Maybe that'll up his game as a whole, and he'll get sharper because of it. Because he's going to have to fight week in, week out. Whereas in Bremen, I don't think he really had to, because if he wasn't going to start as a striker at Bremen, he was going to get pushed out wide. And if he wasn't going to get pushed out wide, I'm sure he'd get started as a goalkeeper. But
well, here's the other thing to keep in mind, right? Daniel Farke, the manager, German manager, has played a 4-2-3-1 in like 98% of the games he's ever managed in his life. A 4-2-3-1. And we know that Pookie's that one. Pookie's one. He's the Finnish guy. He's a hero at that club. And even behind Pukki, you've still got Adam Ida. You've still got Jordan Hugel. You've got guys that are going to fight Sargent for that center forward spot. But even if you're playing three behind the center forward, those are almost like midfielders. But I suppose you can you could play the guys out wide as wingers. But you could also play Josh Sargent then as the one behind the striker, right? The middle of that three. And there's less competition there. So it's like a second striker almost. And
just about to say that it'd play more along the lines of like a second striker, in all honesty.
And really the guy that he's going to have to battle for that position, I think, is Kieran Dow. Now, I don't know I am not a Norwich City fan. I watched a lot of Norwich City videos in the last 2 days, however, like fan YouTube spots. And I watched, the reaction to Josh being signed. Reels. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And I actually subscribed to like 3 different Norwich City pages on YouTube, which means, I like getting feedback. It's kind of like how I started following a lot of Chelsea supporters who have YouTube shows. And because I want to get their point of view. I want to know what they're
saying. Let me know those channels, and we'll start tagging them on all these Sargent and Pulisic videos.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. So really, those are like the 4 spots that if you're playing a 4-2-3-1, those are the 4 spots. The one on top and the 3 behind the one are the spots that Sargent's got to fight to gain a spot in one of those 4 spots. Thank God for him. He's very diverse, and but they did spend some amount of money on him, so he's gonna get some looks. There's no doubt about it.
He'll find the field. He just has to perform.
Yeah, they're going to throw him out there in the last 20 minutes at the beginning, the last 15 minutes here, and then he's going to have to prove something in those 10 to 15 minutes, those 20 minutes. And when he does, let's say they throw him in for Pukki for the last 15 minutes, and he scores a couple goals in a few games. Yeah, then maybe he ousts Pukki at the center forward spots. But Pukki is a fan favorite there in Norwich City. I can tell you that from watching the videos. On the other hand, Lukaku was now signed by Chelsea for $1 gazillion. And how does that affect Pulisic, Brett? I mean, it could. It really could.
Who the fuck knows with Tuchel these days? I mean, I don't know.
It's going to. Let me tell you why. Because Werner is the sort of sit-in CF right now, center forward, right?
Yeah. Well,
so
yeah.
If you replace Werner with Lukaku every game, where are you going to put Werner? Out on one of the fucking
bench. Oh, sorry.
No, he's going to play him.
Yeah,
and he'll play him right behind
the overly productive Werner.
And
hopefully, for Werner's sake, he has a more productive season this year than he did in the previous year.
I would hope so for Werner, but then again, I maybe don't, because I want to see Pulisic play. And if
that's a good point. Yeah, fuck Werner.
Yeah, fuck him. If he keeps fucking up, it's good news. It's good news for Pulisic. And I'm German, or half German, so I shouldn't feel that way. But I'm a Pulisic guy. But it's also because even here, as we start the season, we've seen Tuchel continue to play that 3-4-2-1, which leaves you the one being the center forward with 2 sort of attacking minded midfielders right behind him. And right now, in the first game of what is it called? The Super Cup? I can't even remember what it was. But I know that he started Ziyech and Havertz behind Werner. But if Lukaku takes Werner's spot, Werner gets bumped down in one of those spots, probably takes it from Ziyech, and then you have Werner Havertz for Pulisic to battle against. Because, what's the other choice? Do you play him as a wing back? No. He tried it in some friendlies already.
No, he's gonna be fighting for one of those two spots, and again, similar to like we talked about with Sargent, having to fight week in, week out for playing time will obviously make the player sharper, but obviously that also requires receiving playing time. However, we've also seen in the short time that Tuchel's been at Chelsea that he's mentioned this in press after the games and stuff. He talks about how he sees Pulisic as a super sub, and he's always seen him as a super sub. And I don't see that ultimately changing, despite who they bring in. I see Tuchel just saying, "Well, we're going to bring him in the second half, especially when we need an offensive spark." Despite the fact that maybe if we started him, we would have had that offensive spark all game. But that's just a biased opinion on my part.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how this all pans out. I frankly think that Pulisic's a better player than Ziyech. I actually think he's a better player than Havertz, too. I know people are going to say, you're crazy, but I think he is. And I definitely think he's a better player than Werner. None of those guys can do.
Neither of them had a good year last year. Now, mind you, Pulisic struggled at points, but he was always offensively minded. He always created chances.
He can do what they can't do. Beat 2 or 3 guys at the same time. Mm-hmm. None of those guys can do that. I'm sorry, they can't.
Pulisic's taking the man on the dribble is well above both. Like you can definitely take him at pace and beat them. And as we've seen a number of times, like you mentioned, beat multiple players at once. So it's it'll be an interesting season. And don't get me wrong, Chelsea's in a number of cups and a number within the league and everything like that. So Pulisic's going to find the field. I wish Tuchel rated him more than what he does. And I don't think a lot that Pulisic's going to be able to do will change. I think it's just he's always going to say, I can just bring Pulisic in at the end and it's going to change the game.
Yeah, let's hope that approach is dropped at some point. And I hate to wish bad things on other players like I did for Werner, but I just think that he's given Werner so many fucking chances.
Well, it's not even wishing bad things on Werner. It's wishing that Tuchel's eyes would open up. Take the German goggles off. It's okay to say, dude, you're going to take the bench. You haven't produced in X amount of games, 10, 15 games. We're going to try somebody else. It's okay. But I'm not the coach, and I don't get paid the big bucks. So what the fuck do I know?
Yeah, take your Deutsch goggles off there, Tuchel. All right, I think that does it for this segment. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, have a great farking night.
Fark, yes.